Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Tom Baker Show. It is great to be back with you. I want to thank you for joining us wherever you are watching us from, be it PowerTube TV or our Steering Wheel Nation socials or wherever it may be. We appreciate you joining us, and we've got a busy show here tonight. A lot of topics to cover, but first, we have a very special guest. I met this gentleman a few years ago when the Smart Modified Tour here in the Southeast was just being revived, and had such a blast working with him for the first few shows of the tour. And it has just done nothing but grow ever since. Chris Williams is with us. He is the owner and director of the Smart Modified Tour, and it's quickly growing into one of the most exciting touring series in the region. Chris, welcome to the show. It's great to have you on.
Yeah, nice to be here. Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about 2025 first. Give us an idea of what's happened already. We've seen some very exciting racing so far in the first couple months of the year.
Oh, it's been really good. We went started the season off at Florence, and it was good. Great competition, great car count. We then went to Anderson for the first time. It was kind of a cool, unexpected event. The tour hadn't run there since like 14. Great crowd, great facility, and the Modifieds put on a show. It was a really, really good race. Had a little bit of excitement with a couple guys getting together with Crum and Baldwin.
Baldwin.
And then we kind of eased off to the King of the Modifieds, which turned out to be an exceptional second show there at South Boston. Really great event, great crowd, great correspondence with just all the teams, and the sponsors was really happy with what they saw there. Went to Orange County, another great race, the racetrack. They done some kind of a repavement work and patches, and Terry Deal and those guys done a good job. The Modifieds was quicker down there than last year. It ended up being a really, really good show. Newman made a great pass with 4 or 5 laps to go, 3 wide coming off the turn. I mean, I really thought Christopher had a chance to win that race. If the caution hadn't come out, he probably would have won the race.
Yep.
But that's the way it goes sometimes. And, second chances is everywhere abound, on restarts. But Newman done a really good job making that pass and winning the race. And of course, we finished our little spring jaunt at Hickory. And, our teams love going to Hickory. Hickory's a great place to race. Car count again was great. Good crowd, great race. It was fun. We've had 5 races and 5 different winners. We like the parity in our sport. We say it all the time. We have 20 to 22 cars that can win each and every week out of the 24, 25 we're averaging right now. And we've got, from Hirschman, as we've seen Christopher, Ramu. We've got a lot of guys coming from the north that, is spending time and monies down here to run in the south that likes what we got going. And then we have our mainstays in the racing world that come each and every week and compete. One of the things that is a lot of people don't know, I mean, we're averaging 25 cars, which is more than what we did last year. But at the same time, we've got 4 or 5 cars that's not even competing that was in our top 7 in points last year. And so for that to happen and maintain that car count, it's pretty impressive. So Franklin County's coming up in about 3.5 weeks. Everybody loves going to Franklin County. We always have 24, 25 cars there. The crowds are always good. The track's already done about 5 or 6 upgrades that I requested them to do, which I'm really looking forward to. Scoreboard, PA system, bathrooms. They've done a really good job. I'm going up and visit those guys, Tim and Kenny Lang and them next week. We're doing a kickoff Friday downtown Rocky Mount. Folks at the barbecue place downtown. We're doing that. We had a function with the ride along last week, Wilkesboro on Saturday. so we've been staying active, even though we're off for 4 weeks. We've been really staying active. And to be perfectly honest, we got a lot of other stuff that's going on too. We may have what we call a midsummer classic, about $100,000 we're working on for Dominion.
Oh, wow.
May go off. Yeah, may go off July 2nd. We're working with the sponsors. We don't make an announcement until it's, all
Official.
documented and,
Yeah.
and in shape. But we have had open, and we have talked to TriTrack coming down and joining us with that event, and it's it's looking pretty good so far.
Wow, that's great. I mean, to see that type of an event come to Southern Modified Racing, it's been a good while, if ever, that it's had something like that. And I love seeing the Northerners that have come down as well. It takes me back to the 70s when I was growing up, and Richie Evans and some of the other drivers from the North would come down on occasion, either running at Bowman Gray or whatever the track would be. And of course, always Martinsville, but. You've got such a mix of drivers in the tour, from, Cup drivers, Ryan Newman, and of course, Bobby Labonte has run the tour, and you got Carter McMurray, the son of Jamie McMurray, who's a rookie with you this year. But you've also got a great lineup of younger drivers like the Luke Baldwins of the world and Jack Baldwin, and drivers, of course, the staple guys from the South like Burt Myers and the other guys. It's such a mixed field every time this series hits a track, and I think that really is what you look for in a series. You don't want all younger guys, you don't want all older guys. You got a good mix there, and the competition is just off the charts.
Yeah, it's going extremely well. We've had a couple of people interested in running our races coming up. We may put Brittany Williams, Brittany Zamora, into a car. She's talked about starting Franklin County or Caraway, so we're working on that. We have, Todd Bodine. I was at Rockingham last Friday. Todd was like, "Hey, you never called me," and I was like, "Well, I thought you were going to call me," and he said, "No." He said, y'all are having too much fun. He said, I might want to join the fun. So, you got
Nice.
Todd Bodine talking about driving. So you have a lot of those guys that come, their background is modified racing, and they love it. And any chance that they can get to compete and showcase, fun, it's, especially in the modified world, especially where we're racing at, where they like to go.
Right.
It's a good combination. So, we talk about, people love car counts. They want to be 30 strong, 25 to 30. We do love 25 to 30, but some of the tracks we go to, it's almost impossible. We talked to Wake about going to Wake, and, we understand putting 30 race cars on that's going to be a little difficult. Franklin County, even though we start 24, 25, that's difficult in
tight.
itself.
Yep.
Especially for pit stalls. We have to be really creative there to make it work. But at the same time, if it's this healthy and the people want to come and race, we're definitely not going to turn them away. And, it creates a lot more when, the people are coming and support those race teams. It puts people in the grandstand as well. So it's going pretty good right now, and we're not complaining. We are looking at other racetracks to participate on. We've talked to people like Winchester. We've talked to Nashville.
Wow.
We've talked to a lot of other tracks to go do it. And, we would probably in some of those deals have to, look at another series like TriTrack and a few others to join us, because, our teams will be more difficult to get 25 cars there, 7, 8, 9 hours away.
Yeah.
But we're not turning any of them away. You got to have the conversation to understand where you're at.
Well, that's for sure. And it's hard because you've got a series, and that series needs tracks. It needs places to run, and you want to look at, what you can do to expand it, but you also want to be wise about it, right? Because like you said, it costs a lot of money to get 25 teams somewhere, and, there's only so much purse that can go around. So even Dominion for some of the teams is a 4 or 5 hour haul or more.
That's
so,
right.
If you're coming down from the north, especially, it's a longer trip. So, but that show obviously has a purse if it comes through the way you described it, that as a purse that would certainly support that, right? It makes it easier for people to get there and at least get, not have to spend much out of their own pocket to do it. But I want to ask you, based on where the tour is at now, is this where you expected it to be in 2025? Have you exceeded? Are you sort of, were you hoping for more? I mean, where is it at compared to where you hoped it would be when you started this thing back a handful of years ago?
Yeah, well, we got the points deals and stuff started in 21.
Yep.
We had a progression to really start a 5-year plan, which was to 26. And we wanted, a true touring to go, to multiple states. We wanted sponsors in the series, to help, cultivate everything that we need, to take to the racetrack. We checked off, we had 15 line items. That was the most important. We checked off 13 of them in the first 3 years. We added another 6. And to be honest, we probably have checked them all off but 2. You're saying, okay, what are you lacking? Well, I mean, the only thing I'm really lacking is we've got money, but we got to have the money that's going to, get people to travel and to come, because right now in the South, it's harder to get the cars out of the shops and get to the racetrack. And, the number one thing that they spend once they leave the house is on tires. And we've done really good by saving money on tires. Worked really well with Hoosier and stuff of that nature. It's just, we need to, up the purses just a little bit. And I know you're sitting there saying, well, didn't you just have $100,000 purse at the King of the Modified? I did. You're thinking about another $100,000 purse at Dominion. You had a $75,000 purse at Wilkesboro. Those are great, but you need that consistency each and every week. And it's not that you can make the teams whole. It's not what you can, because nobody's doing this to try to make money. But, what you're truly trying to do is, if you're going to have fun doing this and you have a passion to do it, and you're doing it as a hobby, you don't want to have to finish, 20th and make $500 when you spent $1,200 to get there. So
right.
That's the number one thing that we've got to work on. So I would say I'd grade us at a B+.
Okay.
Because I think we've done some things quicker than we thought we were going to. We have a lot of people's attention, not only with flows, coverage, our sponsors and stuff, but, just the racing world in itself. They pretty much know who the Smart Modified Tour is. And, we're not trying to overshadow anybody, and we're not trying to shadow ourselves. What we're trying to do is raise modified racing in the South. Right. And anytime that we can showcase modifieds in these big events or weekly, then all tides raise the modified series. And that's all we're trying to do.
All right, so let's talk briefly. Give us a brief idea of your background, because, you've had a fascinating story of, your involvement in the sport and in business. So talk a little bit briefly about how you got to where you are now, and then tell us what made you decide to jump into the Modified Tour.
Yeah, just a quick overview. My dad was a general manager at Martinsville Speedway, so I did a lot of things at the racetrack that a lot of people didn't do. I cut onions. I put, souvenirs out. I put chairs out at the top of the speedway before there was extended grandstands. If water main busted, in 11, 12 years old, I was out digging ditches to fix the water mains, at the triple headers and the stuff at night. Helped do everything at the racetrack. I flagged, I've run the pace car. I done it all. But, as I was growing up, I had a passion, for business, but I also had a passion for souvenirs. And then I met this guy by the name of Dale Earnhardt. And I went to work for Dale in 86, 87. I became vice president of sports image trackside. Then Dale sold it to Action Performance, which was a public company. I became vice president of that. Enjoyed that tremendously until NASCAR come in 2005, bought it out. The company was Motorsports Authentics. I became vice president of Motorsports Authentics. We had 62 souvenir trailers, 160 employees, and we were doing $100 million at trackside a year that I was overseeing all the employees, all the restock, ordering a product, everything. I helped Microsoft create the first live authorization and credit card
Oh, wow.
anywhere in the United States. We kicked that off, saved tons of money just for having live authorization and credit cards. And then, Fanatics come in and bought the rights out in 2013. I became vice president of Fanatics. Really, it was going right along. I was representing, all the big major stuff, the Super Bowls, the college football playoffs, the Kentucky Derbies, pretty much all the big stuff. I was overseeing all of the stuff. And then the pandemic hit, decided to retire. That was crazy. And then I was in 2018 and 19, I was holding the steering wheel over to Stadium in the modifieds. And I had a couple of people come to me when the pandemic hit and says, we need to get this modified stuff. We got 50, 60 cars sitting in a garage, nowhere to run in the South. And, you have the acronym to do it. And, the business and everything else, you can, bring sponsors in and do the things that's been lacking for a few years. And so I went to a meeting in Puddin's, decided that this was something I wanted to do. Tom Buzzy was kind of driving most of that. Decided I would do it. Got it going pretty good. Liked every bit of it. And, was just kind of enjoying myself. My racing stuff stopped. I wasn't holding the steering wheel much anymore. But at the same time, passion about seeing things be successful and, people being treated right. I mean, anybody that's ever done business with me understands that, I'm a man of my word, and
Yep.
I'm going to do everything that I can to keep that word. Sometimes you got to make tough decisions. They don't like it, and I understand that, but that's business, right?
Yeah.
But don't burn the bridge, as you go. And I think I've done a pretty good job of doing that with the teams and the sponsors and the tracks so far, and hopefully we can continue that up. And that's kind of how it kind of fell into this. I felt like it was a good opportunity to showcase modified racing, which I've had a passion for some time. And so far it's about 85% there. We'll see how it goes.
I feel like modifieds in the South have kind of always, or at least in large part, kind of played second fiddle to the late models. I mean, this is kind of late model country. But it feels like in 2025, modifieds are the new black, if you want to put it that way, or the new sexy. They're the hot new thing. And all of a sudden there's been this resurgence in interest in modifieds in the South, which I love to see. And I know it's a team effort, but can you tell us what you think is driving that?
Well, we've kind of hit on some of it already. I mean, these cars are sexy. They're fast. You see them, you see everything working from the, tires and everything else, low to the ground, horsepower. You have really great newcomers in the sport. We got 8 rookies that are battling for it. Modifieds have become a landing place before even late model, that, these younger kids are coming out, like the Luke Baldwins and the Carson Loftons and, all the people that's come in the last year, even McMurray, they're finding a place to land. And you don't have that landing spot between legends and late models, to be perfectly honest with you. And so all the sexiness and how fast it is, and then the competition's so good because you got the Coulters and you got all the mainstays that are people that's had all the experience before. And when you have 28 champions that are sitting in your 24 car field, it's pretty impressive. And when you can compete against them and showcase your talent, it gets everybody, looking at what you're trying to get accomplished and that you can compete at that level. And I can tell you, when you have the Ryan Newmans and the Bobby Labanis and Ryan Priest's running in our series like last year, and the ones that are coming that I can't really talk about right now, it's sexy. And to see them wheel something that's that fast, it's kind of like a go-kart. It's quick wheel response, a short wheelbase, but they're just plain out sexy. And when you can see the competition passing the way we have it, there's no follow leader in our series. What's the reason we only get 5 tires? there has to be a strategy behind it.
Right.
There's a lot of things that are really working for the Smart Modified Tour right now, to showcase a lot of different attributes to the driver, and it's doing extremely well, and they like that showcase. And I don't never talk down against another series or the deal. The late models is doing really good. The cars are doing extremely well. The Cars Tour.
Yep.
And all the success in the world, but there's a place for the Cars Tour, and there's a place for the Smart Modified Tour for those fans that want to see this type of racing. And you're right, it's gravitated towards flow. It's gravitated towards the people in the grandstands. The ticket sales. We had 6,800 people at the King of the Modifieds.
Wow.
And people want to come out and showcase, what Smart's putting together. But it's all about our competitors. It's all about the competition. And it's going extremely well. So Smart Modified's doing extremely well.
Shorter races too. I love the distance because it's not so long that it just becomes this sort of droned out 3-hour event. Yeah. It's kind of a quick little sprint race with a pit stop thrown in. And every week, like you said, you've had 5 different winners in 5 races so far. It seems like every week somebody is just in the right situation at the right time, and they're at the end of the race to get the win.
Yeah, and it's kind of how we put it together. We didn't want to do it 5 tires. We didn't want to wear out the motors. It takes $10,000, $12,000 to get these things refurbished, every so many races. And, we just wanted to keep it as a sprint. And let's be honest, when I was in NASCAR and I was looking at the time frame and what people was looking to do, kids nowadays with these phones in their hands and everything else, their attention span's not an hour and a half anymore. So we're trying to keep that race in an hour and a half, an hour and 20-minute time frame. And so, you're catering to those kids and people to say, hey, I will focus for an hour and a half, but I can't focus after an hour and a half. And that's the reason we don't. I mean, there's times that the race is going to get into a red flag situation or whatever,
sure,
and it's going to go over. But our overall aspect is to keep it in that hour and 15 to hour and 30-minute time frame.
Well, definitely a great, I think you've hit on a great formula, and it seems to be repeating from race to race to race. You've got some incredible competition, and again, just a great mix of talent from youth to experience that I think just makes the Smart Modified Tour as interesting as any other touring series on short tracks anywhere in the country. So it's great to see the success that you're having.
Well, I appreciate it. And, I appreciate all y'all covering it. I've done quite a bit of these and podcasts and, TV shows, and, everybody sees the growth of what we've got out there. They see what we've, put together, and it's going extremely well. And anytime the media sees it and wants to be a part of it, every week I get more media requests to come to the races and stuff. Franklin County's already, taken off again. And so, you can kind of gauge on it by the coverage that's happening. I appreciate all you guys, wanting to cover the Smart Modifieds and, the competition, because, all of us raise it together, and the more you're talking about it, the more aspect people are going to be involved in it. So that's good.
We're looking forward to getting to some of the races here coming up, and it should be a lot of fun. I love modifieds. Grew up on super modifieds and modifieds up north, and the ground pounder modified division is one of my 2 favorite divisions in all of racing. So congratulations on the success that you've had with the tour. Before we let you go, where can people find you? Website, socials, all of that.
Yeah, smartmods.com, smartmod, everything is Smart Mods. You can find us on the web. You can find us on email, social media, Instagram, Facebook. We're all on it. A lot of people's been saying, when's our next little TV deal? We always do, Bernie, or we do some type of advertising. We're getting ready to do one that's going to be pretty cool. Probably try to have it out for the summertime. But, we do get a huge following. During the King of the Modified, we had about 2.8 million people that, touch points all of our stuff. Wow. And, that's extremely well. And, we're glad to, upgrade the emails and upgrade the social medias and upgrade the Facebooks. We've done extremely well and hard in off season to do that because those content people love. But I appreciate it. Just look up Smart Mods, pretty much anything Smart Modified Tour. If you're in a search, and it'll go pretty much to all of them.
Chris, thanks for being on. We appreciate it, and we look forward to touching base with you again during the year.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.
That's Chris Williams, and we'll be back with more of the show after this. For over 50 years, FHS Superior Synthetic Oil has powered high-performance engines with unbeatable protection and speed. Whether it's drag racing, go-karts, sprint cars, stock cars, or your daily driver, FHS stands for high speed and delivers every time. Their advanced synthetic oils boost your engine's responsiveness, acceleration, and efficiency, giving you the winning edge on every lap. Visit FHSoil.com today to find the right products for your engine. FHSoil.com.
For race fans across the United States, GetInTheStands.com is the place to find racetracks where you live and where you're traveling. Just go to GetInTheStands.com and enter your location. You'll see the tracks within 100 miles of that point, either as a list or on a map. GetInTheStands.com is 100% free to use and mobile friendly. So whether you're on a computer, a tablet, or on your phone, there's no need to download an app. To find racetracks across the United States, open your web browser and head to GetInTheStands.com. GetInTheStands.com, your racetrack directory.
Attention track and series owners, elevate your fan experience with the TrackTune app. TrackTune works with your PA system. Fans and teams at the track can hear the announcers through their phones, ensuring everyone hears race calls, sponsor plugs, and more during race nights. It's simple to set up, affordable, and free for fans to download and enjoy. Visit tracktune.live for all the details and join tracks nationwide on the app today.
Welcome back to the show, and we love getting out to tracks of various types and seeing all kinds of different types of racing. And Steering Wheel Nation Live went to the NHRA 4-wide nationals at zMAX Dragway in Charlotte, or more properly Concord, North Carolina. RadicalRaceGear.com helping us get there, and of course Butch Lamb and his team, a fantastic part of our show. And this episode is brought to you by RadicalRaceGear.com. When we got there, we found a full field and a great crowd. It was a beautiful weekend, and of course you can find the results elsewhere, but I just wanted to say a couple of quick things, and then we got triple of winner views for you. First of all, the first thing that I just can't get over with NHRA is how the fans, the access the fans have. The fact that every ticket is a pit pass, and when I made trips to the infield to see the cars and talk with drivers and whatever, it was just, especially on Sunday, I mean, there were people everywhere. NHRA does a great job. The broadcasts are fantastic, and there is nothing like 11,000 horsepower. Nothing. Tony Stewart, of course, got his first win in Vegas in the Top Fuel, and he did make the finals at the 4 wides. He loves those 4 wides. He did make the finals, but he didn't win. We'll get to the Top Fuel winner in a moment. We're going to start with Pro Stock Motorcycle. Matt Smith pulled off what ended up being a fairly improbable victory, but he had a great day, and want to give you a chance to hear a little bit of his post-race interview.
We are joined in the media center by your Pro Stock Motorcycle winner, Mr. Matt Smith, and Charlotte native. Matt, it always feels good to you to win here. You said earlier that Angie said that it's been a really long weekend. Talk to us about that long weekend and what it means to sit right now.
It's been a long weekend. We've had a lot of gremlins going on in our pits, and it started with Gianna's toter home with the carbon monoxide detector going off, and then our fire detector going off, but everything was fine, so this morning we cranked the bike up, and it started squeaking at the end of a shutdown. So we swapped motors this morning, put another motor in. I called her Old Faithful, and she pulled out and did the job, so hats off to my team. I mean, we have a really good team. I can't say enough about my crew guys: Brandon, Michael Ray, Devin, just everybody that helps us. It's just it's a lot of work. It's just a lot of work to try to run 4 bikes with three mechanics. And Angie jumps in and does a lot for us when she can. And I'm sitting here trying to do maps and clutches and tune all 4 bikes, and I get to ride too. So I get the benefit to ride, but it's a lot of work. And so, but we had to break that 41 and 41. I was 41 and 41. 41 wins and 41 runner-ups. So at least we're on the positive side now of we got 42 now.
You also said that this is your home track, and you won in the fall here, and this you're kind of showing off for the folks around you, and obviously there's lots of people. I know a lot of people come to this race. Your dad is racing. Is there any extra motivation to do well for the folks that come to see you?
I want to win every race. I mean, it doesn't matter where it's at, but to do this at home, like I said, you said we won the 2 wide in the fall last year. I won the very first 4 wide here when this place opened up. It's our home track. I love this track. I love the 4 wide format. A lot of people don't get it. A lot of people hate it, but I absolutely love it because to me, you have to focus more. Just not running 1 person, you're running 3 other people. So you've got to beat 3 people to get this Wally. And we did our job today. And hats off, like I said, to my whole team. And just proud to be able to do it in North Carolina and with all the fans. And we have a lot of people in our pits. So should be a pretty big winner's circle.
And that was Matt Smith, the winner of the Pro Stock Motorcycle event. Then we went to Pro Stock, and Dallas Glenn just keeps on trucking. Love to see him win. And again, that was a close finish, and we had a chance to grab some sound with him. So let's watch some of his post-race interview.
Presented by your Pro Stock winner, Dallas Glenn. Dallas, we're here to see you again. This is your 3rd win of the year here on of the 2025 season. Dallas, you had a fantastic whole shot win over Greg in the final, and I believe that Greg had the best run of the weekend, but 00 Dallas. And I wanted to say that you always talk about KB Power and that you always turn it back to the guys in the shop, but that win was you.
Well, I did my job the best that I could do, but the car still did its job. Greg's car's flying. Matt has been right there on our heels. So it's still the engine guys, and it's still the crew chiefs. Dave Connolly and Rob Downey, they did a fantastic job all day. It's not easy juggling to tune 6 cars with 3 people, so they did a fantastic job. We got back from Las Vegas and they literally tore all of our engines apart and didn't get the last one back together until like Thursday night at 9 o'clock at night. So they pretty much worked nonstop every single day, Sunday, Saturday, it doesn't matter. They were in there working. So really it's the reason that we can run good and keep everything together and have such a fantastic start of the year is because of those guys. I just get to sit in the car and try to do the best that I can. And I've always said 4 wide, you don't have to be the best on the first 2, you just have to be good enough. And then you just throw the kitchen sink at it in the final and hope it sticks. And it's kind of what it was on both ends. I don't think it was like the best run we could have made, but it was pretty darn good. And when I left, I really thought that one might go red, and I was really glad that it didn't. I know Greg was... he came over and punched me in the shoulder again because I know he really wanted to win with Rick Hendrick here, and he doesn't make it out to too many of our races here. So, and this is it was pretty special to get out of the car and have him come and congratulate me. He's such a big figure in motorsports. So, but that was really cool down there, and for it to be the 200th KB Titan win kind of really shows how amazing this team really is.
And then it was time for Top Fuel, and this held a significance that no other Top Fuel race has held in recent times because this was the 1000th NHRA Top Fuel event. And so winning it would be extra special. And the gentleman who won it was Sean Langdon, and here he is.
With your Top Fuel winner and the winner of the 1000th Top Fuel NHRA event, Mr. Sean Langdon. Sean, that is a big title. It's a big moment in history. When you got to see a legend of our sport, Don Garlitz, give you that trophy at the top end. What did that moment mean to you?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Coming into the weekend, Rob knows, he asked me, so what does this all mean to you, racing the 1,000th event and all that? And it's like, it's another event, right? I mean, I really try to treat everything the same. And that way, any situation, everything's the same because you just treat everything the same. So, but not gonna lie, rolling around the corner, I didn't even know that the wind light was on, I'll be honest. I saw a blinking light. I didn't know if that meant I got first or second. So I didn't know until Austin, he was giving me the thumbs up when I rolled around the corner. So, but then, yeah, to get out and then to see Big Daddy there, and then, just kind of like the realization of kind of, what transpired. I mean, obviously it's a great feeling. It's something that I know years down the road, I'll be very proud of. Not that I'm not proud right now, but obviously it's just kind of a lot to take in. There's a lot going on, but that's definitely one thing, to get your name on that list is something that you end up looking at that and it's just like, crazy that your name's on that list. But it was pretty cool. I got Don Garlitz and Connie Coletta. I had them both sign that final round time slip, so that's going front and center and down in the trophy room.
You are always a tried and true racer. You're a bracket racer. You're a sportsman racer. You race everything. You're just saying what you're going to go do all the time, but you're also a champion in Top Fuel, and you've had a great season so far. What does it mean to you that you get to do this and that you get to be at the pinnacle of the sport of drag racing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so lucky, honestly. Like, I race for Connie Coletta, and I have a great team, and my teammates are Doug Coletta and Jared Todd, and sometimes it's just kind of like crazy how life brought me here, and crazy that I'm in this position, and never my wildest dreams when I thought about it. But I was talking to someone earlier. It was kind of funny because I'm like, when you get old, because when you're young and you're driving down the road, driving to the races, you're thinking about the future. Like, man, one day I could be this, one day I could be that. But now when I drive to the races, I think about back in the day, back in the day. So I know I'm getting older now, but it's very, very cool, very, very honored to be the 1,000th winner. What?
Keep going.
It was a blast being out at the NHRA race, and thanks to the folks from NHRA for the hospitality as always. We'll be back with more after this.
Attention track and series owners, elevate your fan experience with the TrackTune app. TrackTune works with your PA system. Fans and teams at the track can hear the announcers through their phones, ensuring everyone hears race calls, sponsor plugs, and more during race nights. It's simple to set up, affordable, and free for fans to download and enjoy. Visit tracktune.live for all the details and join tracks nationwide on the app today.
For race fans across the United States, GetInTheStands.com is the place to find racetracks where you live and where you're traveling. Just go to GetInTheStands.com and enter your location. You'll see the tracks within 100 miles of that point, either as a list or on a map. GetInTheStands.com is 100% free to use and mobile friendly. So whether you're on a computer, a tablet, or on your phone, there's no need to download an app. To find racetracks across the United States, open your web browser and head to GetInTheStands.com. GetInTheStands.com, your racetrack directory.
For over 50 years, FHS Superior Synthetic Oil has powered high-performance engines with unbeatable protection and speed. Whether it's drag racing, go-karts, sprint cars, stock cars, or your daily driver, FHS stands for high speed and delivers every time. Their advanced synthetic oils boost your engine's responsiveness, acceleration, and efficiency, giving you the winning edge on every lap. Visit FHSoil.com today to find the right products for your engine. FHSoil.com. Welcome back as we get set to wind this show down. A couple of things happening in the NASCAR world that I find to be a little bit interesting. The first is that J-Ski reported just before we started this show that NASCAR Commissioner Steve Phelps may be of interest for the PGA Tour's CEO opening. That wasn't on my bingo card in 2025, but the report says that there are no less than 5 senior golf industry sources with knowledge of the search that have tagged Phelps as a name that the tour has shown interest in. Now, Steve, of course, just has been promoted to commissioner within the last couple of months. And so who knows what the future lies, where the future lies there. But just something I found that was very interesting, and something else that's going on. There's an ongoing battle between Legacy Motor Club and Rick Ware Racing over a charter that Legacy states that it's purchased. And the latest development there is that a North Carolina Superior Court judge denied a preliminary injunction that Legacy Motor Club filed to keep Rick Ware Racing from potentially selling the charter that Legacy states it's purchased. Now, if you're wondering how could this all fall into this bed of confusion, listen to the explanation here. Allegedly, Legacy had purchased the charter for roughly $45 million, which would be, by the way, the highest price ever for a charter. The purchase calls for Rick Ware Racing to sell charter number 36, which is currently used by the 51 car. But Legacy's attorney described the charter as Charter 27, which is also owned by Rick Ware Racing, and it's being leased to RFK Racing this year for the 60 of Ryan Preece. Okay, now, here's why the confusion is important, because RWR reportedly already has an agreement to lease charter number 36. That's the one that Legacy says they purchased. They've also supposedly had an agreement to lease that charter for 2026. So the charter that Legacy thinks they bought may be already promised to someone in a lease for next year. And Legacy's attorney described the charter under a different number. So this whole charter thing and the fact that you can sell them, you can lease them, this is becoming a mess. And a lot of confusion here, so nothing's settled here. And that sale was not supposed to, the actual sale of the charter or the turning over of the charter was not supposed to happen until 26. So there's still time to sort it all out. But it appears that this ends up coming into being a clerical error is part of at least the confusion here. And so we'll keep you up to date on what's happening there. But this is going to be fun to follow. NASCAR Talladega, of course, great weekend, lots of controversy. Not even going to get into all of that because at this point it's far too much to delve into in one show. We're going to end it here. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks to Radical Race Gear and all of our sponsors for making this show possible. You can, of course, find more great show content and other content, steeringwheelnation.com. And, of course, our streaming channel right on the PowerTube TV platform. Just look for Steering Wheel Nation. And our social channels at The Wheel Nation on Facebook and Instagram. Until next time, I'm Tom Baker. Thanks for watching.